and this could be you. Woo! Woo! Yeah! Oh, this is awesome. Somebody is going to win a ride in this airplane at Oshkosh during the air show on Friday.
You guys are gonna absolutely freak out and love this ride.
Holy crap, this is happening. Mike Goulian, Aviation. Wow. In the right place. There, I think that's Mike. Mike?
Jimmy, what's up, man?
Wow.
Welcome to our place.
Yeah.
How you doing?
You know, it's not a nice place you got over here.
It's not bad.
You got, you know, it's a smidge better than the Barnes with the 310.
We got a few cool airplanes in here.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Holy cow. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, this is, and pronounce your last name because I butchered.
Goulian.
Goulian, okay.
Goulian, yeah.
Yeah, Goulian, it's okay. This is Mike Goulian, like crazy, lots of award stuff over there, and we'll talk about your history. It's a little sketchy, but we'll talk about it. I've never heard of a person getting a ride during the air show in one of the planes that does this.
Well, it's a little bit of a secret, right? So they're not going to fly in the air show, but while the air show's going on at Oshkosh, we get to take off of the other runway. You'll see all of Oshkosh. You'll see one of the airplanes in the air making smoke, fire, whatever the cool stuff that they're going to do. We're going to go out and give one unbelievable ride north of the airport and then come back in. And the coolest thing is, because you're on the air show frequency, you're kind of listening, and as you're coming back in, you get to see whether it's, you know, Rob Holland or the Aeroshell team or whoever in the air. You'll see the smoke and Oshkosh, and it's a pretty cool sight. And it's a little bit of a pinch me moment every year. I get it like, hey, I'm out here practicing flying while the air show's going on, and it's Oshkosh. It doesn't get any better.
That's insane. So Mike, thank you so much. Huge generosity. This ride is Friday at the afternoon. I forget the exact time, like 3 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, during the air show, weather permitting, we can move it up or back. We're going to do it'll be around 3 o'clock, but if the weather's bad, we'll do it earlier or later because we want the winner to have an unbelievable day at Oshkosh.
Yeah, so. I mean, I'm jealous. A pinch me moment. Tell us about the airplane. What are we looking at here?
So, for the people that might not know, this is an extra 330 LX. So it is a two-seat version, kind of what I fly. So I fly a 330 SC, which is single seat competition, and the LX is the two-seat version of that. So to be quite honest, it's a pretty useless airplane except to have fun.
That's the whole reason of the airplane.
Right? That's the whole idea. It doesn't need to go far, it doesn't need to go high, it just has to be awesome. And that's what this thing is.
Spoiler alert, I did have the opportunity to fly in one of these once about 1.5 years ago. Hands down, without question, the freaking craziest, funnest thing I've ever been in my life. And I tell people there is no roller coaster imaginable that can remotely come close to the craziness that happens inside this.
You are so right. Like, it is so much better than any amusement park ride that you would ever, like, amusement parks are nothing, right? They're shaky and it's for a couple seconds. This thing is like liquid, butter smooth. The G-forces feel so cool. The visibility outside of the cockpit is insane. So when you're hanging upside down, you see the whole world. There's, to me, not a more fun experience than you can have in an airplane. Some of my favorite passengers are 75-year-old grandmas that would never think to get in something like this. I always tell them, the ride's for you, it's not for me. And then they're like, okay, and you start off slow. Here's a roll. Here's a big loop. And then they're always like, oh, let's keep going, right? Let's do a hammerhead. We're gonna fly straight up, looking at the horizon. Then we're gonna bash the rudder, pivot. Now we're looking straight at the earth. And you know, I'll be like, hey, look at that house, look at that car, all while we're hurtling
4 million miles an hour straight
super
to the
fun.
ground.
Almost without exception, everybody that takes a ride in this thing, they just love it.
Well, yeah, the smiles per gallon is just off the charts.
So these planes, are pretty Spartan. It's like a NASCAR or a Formula One car with wings, right? So there's no heat, there's no air conditioning. When you fly the airplane, if you think about it, the airplane does it, right? It's just magic in the sky.
And it's, you know, it's Lycoming, which if I'm honest with you, I'm actually partial more to Lycomings than I am Continentals, but I'm not gonna get in that Ford Chevy debate.
That's what sits in the front of all my airplanes, my Aerobatic airplanes.
All right, so how many BTUs, or for those uninitiated, that's horsepower?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
It's a Lycoming IO 580. So it has
580.
6 cylinders, about 320 horsepower. And
that's
so
nuts.
For comparison, the plane weighs about 1,350 pounds,
oh
right?
My God,
so
that's
it's some serious juice for how much it weighs.
So my little Lance Air weighs the same amount with 180 horse.
Yep.
Basically, if you took that airplane and shoved another 180 horsepower on it, that's kind of sort of what you got here.
It would be a 2-engine Lance Air.
That's fantastic.
So the climb rate, like I tell people, hey, we're gonna take off and we're gonna climb, and they raise the nose here, and I'm like, no higher, and they're like, no higher, no higher, because they're used to flying a normal general aviation airplane that kind of climbs like that, right? And then the extra just climbs like this.
What is the climb rate whenever
it's getting close to 3,000 feet a minute.
That's
nuts. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
How many G's can this bad boy do right here?
So
Top Gun level.
This airplane is good for plus and minus 10 G.
Wait, okay, so in Top Gun Maverick, probably the greatest aviation film of all time.
For sure.
They come and do that thing climbing out of there, and they're bending an F-18 at 9 Gs or whatever they're talking about, which I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes for a good movie. This thing could do that route that they were doing, no problem.
Absolutely.
That's
no big deal.
Nuts.
No big deal.
That is nuts.
It is immensely strong. The airplane is built like a tank. So you can't break it, and it can pull more G's than the pilot can pull. That's the truth of it.
So plus and minus 9. So that's
right.
Upside down going the wrong way.
The hard way. That hurts.
In your air shows, how many G's are you pulling?
Just over 10, so about 10 and a half in the air shows. So
what?
You spin the engine really fast. And
what maneuver are you doing that goes to 10 G's?
Almost all of them, right? So in air show flying, speed is life, right? And so you want to be going fast because you're near the ground, and when you pull vertical, you want the airplane, so we're doing 230, 40 miles an hour, and you want to make a big pull.
So nuts.
So at the bottom of almost all of those maneuvers, you're anywhere between 8 and 10 and a half G's.
Good Lord. Yeah. Okay, so for the person riding in the front, like what sort of G's are we talking about?
So we start off slow, right? Just some rolls, and then some loops, about a 3G loop, and then we'll very gently sort of add the load to you. So, because you'll feel it feels like you're getting crushed in your seat, and your hands get heavy, and your arms get heavy, you kind of get a little ugly, right? And so then we add more, and then we just get crazier and crazier and crazier as we go. So we can start with, hammerheads, we do a loop, then we do a loop with a snap roll on the top, then we'll do a tail slide where we pull straight up, pull the power back to idle, let the airplane slide backwards and flip.
This is so nuts.
And then depending upon how they're feeling, we can now like tumbles. You've all probably seen air shows where the airplane looks like it's going end over end and kind of out of control. Well, it's anything but, and it is a super fun part of the ride, because once the airplane, we say it kind of unlocks, it just flips, there's no force on it, and so the airplane is just rotating and the world's going around like crazy. That will be fun. So for the passenger that really wants to do it, we'll do a lot.
Yeah, and there's probably some people that are like, in no way does that sound like fun at all, and you ain't never gonna catch me in that thing. Well, don't worry, because there's the other once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the Aeroshell T6 team. That's right, somebody, gets to get chosen and go up with them, and we are fairly confident they'll be in airplane number 4, which is the one kind of back and down where you'll have all the other airplanes around you, which is the best airplane to be in. And that is going to be Saturday morning at Oshkosh. And remember, you got to wear your Jimmy's World merch. And I'm going to come around, maybe incognito, maybe not so much, asking some questions, trying to find the right person to get these amazing, amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, go to save310.com. Buy yourself. Oh wait, this is a Watt shirt. Who they're sponsoring, by the way, and this is a sponsor, so thank you, Watt, for all that. But yeah, save310.com. Get a shirt, and I'll be bringing them to Oshkosh as well. I can deliver them legally. I'm not allowed to sell them there because of other stuff, but I can deliver them. So go to save310.com, put in the notes, pick up at Oshkosh, and we'll meet you there. I think there's parachutes involved, right?
There is.
Okay, all right,
There's a side there's a serious side to everything that we have to do, right?
Safety third, people.
Right, the FAA tells us that we have to wear some parachutes when we fly aerobatics, especially with passengers. So we've got 2 parachutes, one for you and one for me, and this is the serious part of the briefing, right? So you're gonna have the parachute on. This is an emergency parachute. It's a big round canopy. You're gonna pull that D-ring, and we'll talk about how to actually get out of the airplane once we're putting you in the airplane. And I like to say, you know, if I say jump and you say what, you're talking to yourself. Because I'm out.
Yes, right? I'm out.
No,
have you ever had to use a parachute?
No, I have not.
Yeah, and all your crazy stuff.
I have not had to use a parachute, and I guess I'll try to spill the beans a little bit. I've never jumped out of an airplane because I'm scared to death. All my friends, Kirby Chambliss and everybody, they're all crazy skydivers, and they jump, and I'm like, it's not the parachute that's the problem. It's getting from the airplane to the opening that's the problem.
Who packed these? Was it like your mom? You know,
my mom definitely did not pack these. Okay. My brother didn't pack them. So we trust the rigger, and then obviously we do a little bit of a pre-flight before we ever go, and we make sure the pins are there.
Oh, what?
They're not bent.
Wait, so this is when you pull the D-ring thing,
happens.
it pulls this, and then this thing. Oh.
Yeah, there's a what they call there's a pilot chute in here, so it's a spring-loaded chute, and then when it opens, it springs open and then takes the rest of the chute out with it.
Oh, I've never known that.
Yep.
You have a stick on the outside of.
Yep. When you're flying aerobatics, obviously you would never do it in the clouds, and everything that we're doing, we do visually. So we're either looking at the horizon out over the nose, or when we're going straight up, we're looking at the wing. So we know where the airplane is in space, right? And that's the thing that we're always trying to figure out, like, where am I and how do I maneuver this airplane perfectly? And then when we're competing, it's like figure skating, except it's in the air. So we're judged on super tiny, critical little degrees. A degree off of vertical, either positive or negative. We fly in 45-degree lines, all kinds of things like that.
So I thought, as an observer of air shows, you guys just went up and like smoke circles and do that. There's judging involved with.
When you're competing, there is. Not in air shows, but in competing. That's how most of the guys like.
Competitive aerobat. Is it aerobatics or acrobatics?
Aerobatics.
All right, so this point then.
So let's just say we're flying.
The pilot sits in the back seat.
Yep, and I'm looking.
So you're going to be
here, and when I pull, and when we're going to go straight up, I'm laying this.
So that is
on
if
the
airplane was totally vertical. Oh, look at that. Zoop. And then 45.
Exactly.
Boop.
And then 45 on your back.
And
like that.
Interesting.
Upside down. So, and this is the most important thing on the plane. You would do a terrible air show without this thing. Like an aerobatic pilot, like this is everything to them. As long as the sighting device is there, we can fly it. But if this thing is missing, and then if you go over to my plane, you'll see there's a little string hanging off of the back of it as well. It's a very high-tech device.
Hold on. Is that duct tape?
It's electrical tape. It's high-strength duct tape. When you're doing aerobatics, and a lot of the times we'll be going backwards. Well, you can't tell.
Hit pause. You'll be going backwards?
Yeah, these airplanes go backwards.
What?
I mean, come on now. That's what this is all about, man. Right?
Yeah, reversing this.
It's only fun if you can do it in both directions, not just going forward. You got to do it backwards too. But you can't. So obviously, the airspeed indicator doesn't work when you're going backwards.
Yeah,
and for all of the people that might not be pilots, they don't know. So this is called the pitot tube.
Oh yeah.
When we're flying forward, the air comes in here. There's a line that goes directly to the airspeed indicator, tells us how fast we're going. That's how airplanes work. So when the airplane starts to slide backwards, this string first starts to get a little soft and then starts to go backwards, and then I know we're going backwards.
Gliders use a string on the windshield that helps them know if they're flying, you know, coordinated.
Yeah, a yaw string. Yep.
A yaw string.
Yep.
Is that essentially a yaw string? Or it's just...
It's a forward-backward string.
There, yeah.
It's a forward-backward string.
If it's going that way, you're going forward. If it's going that way, you're going backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Nailed it.
Crazy enough, I was an athlete growing up, right? So I played baseball, hockey, golf, all that stuff, and you're growing up in your high school years, and you know, I thought I was going to be Bobby Orr, but you know, as my dad was like, hey, you're 4 inches too short and 30 pounds too light, and oh, by the way, you can't put the puck in the ocean, so I think the Bruins are not in your history. Around high school, late high school years, I started to learn how to fly because my family was in the flight school business. I soloed on my 16th birthday, which was really fun. I still wanted to be an athlete as I continued on in my life. Everything that I do, I want to be judged. If I can't do it to a standard, I just hate it. Like, I feel like I'm just floundering around in the world. So I would fuel airplanes for my dad, get $100, fly over to the Lawrence Airport once a week, and used it to take an aerobatic lesson, and I did that for a long time and started competing. So I was lucky enough to eventually go on and become the national champion in 2 categories, both advanced and unlimited.
What does that mean?
So there's 5 categories in the International Aerobatic Club, right? So there's primary, and then sportsman, intermediate, advanced, and unlimited. And as the pilot skill gets better, they climb the ladder of categories, and also as the airplanes go, they get better.
So unlimited, you were talking Formula One level.
Exactly. It's the highest you can go, and
wow.
That was really fun, and it gives you the base of all the air show flying that you can do, because it's quite obviously air shows are pretty dynamic, right?
And this was all racing stuff, pylon type racing.
So
right?
this wasn't. This was all aerobatic competition and air show stuff. So after I stopped competing, and then I got full-time about the year 1998, 1999, doing air shows, lots and lots of air shows. And then around 2006, I was lucky enough to start flying in the Red Bull Air Race. So that was a great part of my life. So I was, for a long time, both flying air shows full-time and competing in the Red Bull Air Race full time. So I was
that's a lot of flying.
I was a busy boy for a while, and I did Red Bull Air Race from 2006 to 2019. Aerobatic flying, pulling G's, racing. The only thing you can really do to get acclimated to it is to do it, and do it some more, and do it some more, and do it some more, right? And it's all about G tolerance, getting comfortable, getting your psyche right, and because it's as much a mental game as it is a physical game, right? So when you're tumbling end over end at 1,000 feet above the ground, you have to know what the heck you're doing, right? But you know, you can't be stupid either, and so you have to, your body and your mind have to be in sync for you to be the best you can be in the plane. Because really, the airplane is just an airplane. It's the athlete in the sky that makes the show, right? And so you've got to be super in tune with all that. Here they are. So here's my nationals trophies, and so I first place in unlimited there, and then I won a cool thing called the Fond du Lac Cup in 1992, and then I guess that's my first place in the nationals in advance, which is kind of fun. And so I've been lucky enough to have some awesome sponsors over the years. Castrol was the first one way back in 2006, and then Goodyear, people might remember the Goodyear plane for a long time, and Whelan has been with me for 12 years, and a lot of people might not know, but Whelan and Watt are one and the same, Whelan Aerospace Technology. So yes, it went from blue to yellow, but it's the same company, we just changed our paint schemes.
There you go.
So,
new paint job, new paint job. Okay, a random question. What's the deal with like
Oh,
the big
I had some fun. I got to fly, do a pilot demo in the Falcon 8X to see what it's like to
What do you mean by pilot demo?
So
Is that like aerobatics?
It's a little bit like I went up with the 2 demo pilots, just the 3 of us in the airplane, and about 38,000 feet up over the Atlantic Ocean off of Portland, Maine, and just did all kinds of amazing stuff. It was an awesome experience. One of my favorite trophies is this one. It's a 3rd place actually, but it's from Russia, and they didn't know third from thirst, so that's my thirst place trophy. So that's pretty kind of funny, isn't it? Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Thirst place. Weird. That's a weird one. So I won the Red Bull Air Race in Budapest, which is kind of like Monaco for Formula One back in 2009, and they gave me this porcelain bird. I have no idea. I'm
like
sure.
A trophy?
Yeah, it's a trophy. It means something to somebody in Budapest, I guess, and to Hungarians that are watching. Maybe you could tell us in the comments.
Yeah, enlighten us.
Yeah, let us know. And then my favorite one is that I was lucky enough to win the air race in Indianapolis in 2018, and have your airplane on the speedway and kiss the bricks just like every winner of the Indy 500 does. So that was a pretty memorable day. I may or may not have cried during that day, but
Yeah.
So I've been lucky to have a really cool career flying, and it still continues to this day, and I love it today like I did 30 years ago or so when I started.
Fantastic. Well, now that we know the man, the myth, the legend, parachutes, what do you say we open the thing up and start getting it ready?
Yeah, what do you say?
All right, boss man.
So
what are we going to do today?
Let's get ready to do this.
Okay.
We're here in beautiful Plymouth, Massachusetts. We're about a mile from the ocean. So we could either go out and fly over some ugly forest, or we could go fly out over the ocean. We're going to go fly out over the ocean.
Sounds good to me.
It's just beautiful to fly out there. So you'll be in the front.
Okay.
I'll be in the back. You have all the controls you need in the front. So throttle, stick, there's a button to push to talk to me.
So we've got 2 runways here. They're both about 5,300 feet long. So 1.5 and 3.3, and then 6 and 2.4. I don't do this very often with people. In fact, I've never done it with part of an air show or anything like that. So the person that's going to get this ride, it's not something I do very much.
That is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Yeah.
Pretty awesome, right? Okay, my friend, so I'm going to put it on the center tank, the aerobatic tank. So go ahead and just do some nice medium and steep fake turns and feel the airplane, feel how you like it.
All right.
Get comfortable with it. Kind of like your Lancer. Good, there's about 2 Gs. Good. You'll see it's lighter than you think, right? So you get you kind of a little ratchety with it.
Yeah.
So your right elbow on your thigh and your right hand on the stick, that gives you a little stability with it.
This could be you.
The smoke is actually working, so that's perfect, right?
All right, smoke is working.
How you feeling?
Smoke is on. Oh, this is freaking awesome. I can do this all day. Yep.
Good. Now full left aileron. Go. Yeah, baby. Whoa, 1 1/4, 1 1/8. That's pretty good, though. Nice. Let's do a 180 to your right. So you'll see it rolls pretty fast, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Do 2 rolls, not just 1.
Okay.
And go. There's 1. There's 2. Hey!
Woo!
Woo! Are you sure you've not done this before?
Yeah, no. This is
You're the
freaking
man.
awesome.
Okay. Let's go back to the left. We keep climbing so you can lower the nose a little bit. So now let's do a loop.
Roger.
Big old Barnstormers loop. So give me some speed, about 150 knots.
All right, or 140.
There's plenty, right? So looking over the nose, bring the stick back nice and smooth. Good. Got the smoke on for some fun here. Now look out the left. Now out the front, there's that horizon. There's the smoke that we started. See the smoke? Cool, very nice. Pull some G at the bottom. There's more. Ah, wow.
Woo!
Did you feel that bump?
Yeah.
That was your own wake turbulence. Nice.
Oh, I'm getting used to this. Come on.
Okay, Go, pull straight up, looking at the left wing. Good, nice job, buddy. Good, right there. Hold it, forward stick, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Right rudder, go, left rudder now, go. Perfect, nice. Now right rudder. Good, well done, hold it, and come on out. Nicely done. How's that feeling?
Oh, come on! I gotta get one of these things. Because it's just, it's like,
it's awesome, right?
So finely precision.
Okay, I have the flight controls.
All right,
hey, you can't have all the fun up there.
Oh, it's happening.
So I'm gonna pull the power all the way to idle. Gets quiet in here.
Yeah.
And the airplane's gonna slide backwards. Ready? Now. Look out the front. Watch it flip.
Woo!
There we go. And then just for fun, we'll put some roll into it.
Yeah.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! That is fantastic.
Nice, right?
Yeah, usually when it gets quiet in here is whenever the fans stop turning and, we start sweating as pilots.
Exactly, right? Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
So, just gonna roll upside down.
Doink!
Flying around.
This is insane! Woo! Yes!
Then I'm gonna go into a tumble and then a flat spin down. You ready?
Whatever you say, boss.
All right, my man. Here we go. So, looking at the left wing. Some G's, about 6 G's. Okay, roll it.
Woo!
Now, left rudder, look forward. There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that fun? You can see the smoke. I'll turn the smoke back on. Now a flat spin. Now come out of it.
Boom! And then pull.
Pretty awesome, right?
Yes! Thank you very much.
All right, how you feeling?
This is awesome!
How about you take the airplane,
All right,
fly us home?
I don't even know where we're at.
And we're going to do a wheel landing. So we're going to touch, the power comes to idle. We're just going to touch the main gear first.
So remember, go to save310.com, wear your shirt to Oshkosh, and we're going to be finding one very, very, very lucky and special person for once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be giving away lights from Wheeling. We've got some starter alternator stuff from Plane Power. We're gonna be giving away lots of different things. Wear your Jimmy's World stuff proud, and who knows, it could be quite an interesting Oshkosh experience. I'm Jimmy, that's Mike, and we'll see you later.
Thanks, people.